1988, Florida game. What was it like to play in the Gator Bowl?
It was the biggest thing ever. Super Bowl excluded. Nothing even could compare with being in the Georgia-Florida game. It was such an event. I remember the first Georgia-Florida game I participated in, I almost hyperventilated in warm-ups. It was so exciting. So there's really no way to characterize or put in words how awesome it was. If my mom would have been wearing orange that day, I think I would have tried to pancake her or something. But it was an experience, unparalleled by anything I've ever been in, up to now.
In the South, college football is more than just an autumn pastime. It is a way of life. Nowhere is this more evident than in the annual Georgia-Florida game, a rivalry so tenacious that it is settled on neutral territory, the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Through the years, there have been many great moments, many thrilling performances, many heroes born in the North Florida sunshine. This is the story of some of those games where the Georgia Bulldogs whipped their neighbors to the south in the annual border war.
It's Georgia and Florida. That's all you need to know. And here to tell you about it, the legendary voice of the Georgia Bulldogs, Larry Munson.
Thank you, Scott. And get the picture now. Florida's in white tops. They have orange helmets and orange pants. Dogs will be in red today, though the silver breeches are still there. They have red jerseys on and red helmets. Caldwell and Jackson will be the deep men for the Gators as we will be kicking off. We had deferred. Brandon Couture will be kicking off. Sea of red in the stadium and a sea of blue and orange in this Alltel Stadium. Dogs in Florida here in 2004, and the kick is a high, deep, well-hit ball. About 4 yards in, and they'll run it out. Chad Jackson up to the 10. Second guy hit him. First guy missed him on the 8, and then he got knocked down on about the 11-yard line. And it was Brandon Miller, that young linebacker. All right, the Gators. And they have scored a lot and scored on everybody this year, as they've always done. Now let's watch them and see. Everybody wonders how hard they will play. We are about to find out. Leak back in the shotgun, their quarterback. He moves a man off in motion. Leak stops. Got plenty of time. Dumps it right in the middle, and we hit the guy on the 9 and drive him back across the 5. Danny Verdun-Whaler hit facing the running back. Leak threw a hard bullet to facing the running back, the number 1 running back in the league. We hit him right away, and they will spot it right on the 10-yard line. Leak underneath. Leak's going to give it to the tail. There's a big hole. He got 5 going straight up in there. Theatric facing the running back straight ahead. Thurman, Verdun-Whaler were the main stops on the play, and the ball will be now up on the 15, third down. Florida's already, they're trying to run no huddle offense. And you don't get a lot of time in this conference, at least we don't. We really tried to put it in a lot a couple of years ago. We're going now into a 3-man front. Shotgun. Leak standing back there by himself. Takes it. Got time. Going to throw a bullet and knocked down. About the 19, intended for Andre Caldwell, and Odell Thurman, the linebacker, went after a low ball right in front of him. Leak threw it a little lower. It could have been a pick. And Florida now will punt away.
Well, that's a good start for the Bulldogs. 3 and out on defense, and Georgia's defense didn't give up anything to Florida that time. The first play kind of set the tone, and now the Dogs with excellent field position.
They were trying to run in a hurry. I think maybe they feel we're going to wear down. We're in an eye with 2 wideouts. David Green steps back, fires to a man open on the right side. First down, Reggie Brown, and out as he crossed their 40. Reggie Brown open over on the right on a slant pattern. Herring, the free safety, came up to give him a little shove as he went out. Dogs are in an eye with 2 wideouts. Gators counting the linebacker up almost in 5. Handoff, and they run Danny Ware. Ware fights over the 35 to maybe the 33. Ware went at left tackle, got hit around the 36-yard line, but then kept his legs going and got it down to the 33. Reggie Brown in motion over to the right to load that side of the field, run a trap back, misdirection. Driving in there goes Thomas Brown, got it over the 30, but I don't think he got a first down. I think he got it to the 29. Let's see. Earl Everett, a linebacker, was the one that grabbed at him. Dogs ran a misdirection back with receivers and everybody going right, and Brown shot through a hole and took it to the 29. It's 4th down and a long full yard to go. First quarter, no score. Dogs in red, the Gators in that white and orange. Gators change a safety man, among others. 3 wideouts. Green going to hand it. And Brown trying to come in. I think he got the yard. Dick Payne had the glasses on him and thought he got it in there and thought he got it down there.
Little helmet-to-helmet contact with Thomas Brown. The little guy put his head down and bowled his way to the 27 and get the first down.
Reggie Brown, a lone receiver, wide out there right. We are in an eye, fullback behind the left tackle. Now the fullback sliding in motion. And so Green fakes it, and we're going to go long. Man wide open, touchdown in the corner. Reggie Brown decoyed that same pattern to the right. Big Pope, the tight end, ran that pattern down on the left. And the Dogs have drawn first blood at 6-0.
Oh, a nice play fake by David Green, and Pope ran a nice pattern right in the near corner, and Green put it right on his fingertips, and Leonard with a nice catch and a touchdown.
Andy Bailey to try the extra point. We set it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And Georgia's got first blood, that's for sure. It's 7-0. Timeout, pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network.
Now the Dogs 7-0 out in front. Now let's go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Well, Scott, that was an excellent drive, and it's a reflection of what Coach Rick told the team pregame, same as he told us on the pregame show. Let's see, offense, how well we can do when we don't stop ourselves. Now, that's got to give Georgia a lot of confidence, scoring in the red zone on that drive as they just did.
Forward on the 20. Leak waves his arms, gave some other kind of a sign to his center, told him to do something else, talked to the guards and the tackles and went back, takes a snap, and is going to fake it and comes sliding out here to the right and goes down after 2.5 yards. Leak faked the handoff to Faison and then sprinted out to the right on a quarterback keep. Not exactly a bootleg. Minter was the guy that was there ready to attack him, but he was already sliding down on the grass. The ball is put on the 23. Florida's already set to go. They are allowing them to get their no huddle set and running quickly. Leak underneath. Slot wide out to the left. Going to take it. Come along the line. Pitch an option out wide to Big Faison. We hit him on the 25. Knock him down to the 24. Davis and Demario Minter. Davis the safety and Minter the corner. Hit Faison. Florida's already up to the line. 3rd down, 5. We're trying to get 3 guys on the field. We may not get them on the field in time. Wynn is a running back. Gators in a shotgun. We aren't even lined up on a line of scrimmage. Florida puts a man in motion. Leak's got it. Leak's look. Fires complete out in the left flat. We hit him. He spun around for the first down of the 35 to maybe the 36 or 7 and out of bounds. We hit him just shy of the first down, but he got 6 or 7 more. Trey Battle, our free safety, hit Deshaun Wynn, the number 2 running back. I keep mentioning the no huddle because they have not let us run it in this conference now for 2 years. Gators got 3 men right, 1 man left. They're in a shotgun. Leak's got it. He's sprinting out here to the right. Stops. A man missed him. Now he runs straight up the middle of 45, the 50, the 45, and dives down around our 43, and the Gators are moving. Leak was really coming. Dogs lead 7-0 early. And Florida running at no huddle is really coming down the field. Gators shotgun. 4 receivers, 3 right and 1 left. Leak waking. Leak going to take it, stop and look, throw a little shovel pass right in front, and we knock him down there, only got a yard. 3 men out left, 3 men right. They got 2 screens set. He throws over to the left. It is complete. And he broke off over the 35 to the 30. The receiver, Caldwell, took it down, first down, and got over the 30, I believe. Florida coming down the field. Leak back and forth to talk to the interior lineman. Going to take it now. Give it to Faison, who's got a hole, and he's got 7, 8, 9 yards. Got the backs in an eye. We were in a 4-5. Leak throws out to that screen, and we're going to knock that screen down there, but he broke off. And Cornelius wide out to the left of the 15 to the 10 to the 5, and is going to score. They threw a screen out to the right, and then he sprinted wide back to the left. And the Gators made that screen work on us again, and they've done that for 2-3 years in a row.
Well, there were some bad tackling efforts on that series by Georgia's defense on that play right there, and on a couple of those wide throws to the far side of the field. Dogs are going to have to tackle a lot better than that.
So it's 7-6, and the try for the extra point by Matt Leach. We're still in the first quarter, and the kick is up in there. The kick is good. And the Dogs in Florida are all tied up 7-7. Timeout. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Gators with a straight-ahead kicker. An old-fashioned kicker. High, deep, end over end. Going to drop down inside of the 5 to the 4-yard line. Tyson Browning in deep trouble. And pulled down around the 12. We're in an eye with Green underneath. Play action fake. Man wide open. Gibson in the middle. And got hit right there on the 25. First down. Corey Bailey, the strong safety, hit him. 3 wideouts in an eye. Green coming back to pass. Finds a man by the sideline. Gibson open, and they hit him right away on the 36-yard line. Green going to take it. Going to fake to the ball carrier. And got Ware off left tackle and got him up over the 40. Handoff. Give it to him again. Ware with a couple blockers to the 45. We're in a power eye setup. Florida's got everybody up close. So we give it to the fullback who drove in there, and it's going to be close. It's not a first down. It's going to be 6-7 inches shy. Lauren, what do you got?
That had to be about as bad a spot as I've seen in a long time. I thought he had it made, and our team did too.
The Dogs are going to go for it.
Big play here if you don't make this. It's 7-7, and already on 4th down, we're going to gamble out on our 46. Front nose of the football is 1.5 inches shy of the 46. We're in a power eye thing. Again, Reggie Brown's out to the right side. Florida with 5 there and 4 ready to come up. And we pitch it down. We got a little Thomas Brown out to the right for 5, for 10, for 15, maybe 20 and out of bounds. Thomas Brown came in and they ran option and pitched it to him. Corey Bailey, the strong safety, made the stop. And we have a big first down on the Florida 35.
How's that for a play? You got the speed of Thomas Brown and just totally unprotected over there. One-on-one with the defender, and he beat him to the corner and got it into Florida territory. A huge fourth down conversion for Georgia.
Green takes it, comes back, throws down the middle, a man wide open, and we are going to get a touchdown. That was Leonard Pope, the big tight end. He sensed it coming as he was still running out around the 10, really reaching for a football that was coming at him. We shot a tight end wide open down the middle. And this thing is right now looking like it's going to be 44-41.
Boy, Pope, he got in the air at the 3-yard line. He wasn't going to be denied with a full head of steam at 6'7". He was across that goal line.
13-7. Andy Bailey to try the extra point. Set it down. The kick is up, and the kick is good, and the lead now is 14-7. Timeout. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. All right. 14-7, and the kick is a long, powerful ball. It's deep again, 6 yards deep, bobbled for a moment, and they'll down it there. Leak took a long count, gives it to the running back. Big hole at the left tackle who drove for the first down. Leak with a long count underneath. Fakes, bootlegs out here to the right, stops, fires a pass wide open. We hit him right away up on the 38, but they got about 7 yards. Leak backing up, looking. We're chasing him to the sideline. He's running to the 25 to the 30. Threw it back on the field, complete around the 40. And the Gators are going to be down to our 46 and a first down. Greg Blue had to get Chad Jackson the flanker. Second down. Leak takes it. Fires on a screen they set up over on the left. They got some blocking. They got 5 yards, 6 or 7 on it. The snap. And the kick. High spiral. Flowers needs to get away from that. He does. It hits on the 8-yard line, and it went in the end zone on one big bounce. We line up on the 20 with 2 wideouts, 1 on each side. We fake it to the tail. Complete to Gibson right down the middle, and we got about 14 yards. Corey Bailey, the strong safety, hit him. Snap. Going to run a hole in the middle, and here comes Danny Ware all the way over the 40 down to the 37. Green's going to hand it off. There's a hole at right tackle. And coming outside, here comes Danny Ware down over the 25, the 20, the 15, and out of bounds down around 11. Danny Ware really going. Herring, the safety, Bailey, the safety, both had to get him with an angle.
Ware did a good job of seeing the hole. He changed directions at the line of scrimmage. It was designed to go to the left. He cut back to the right up on a hash and then broke to the outside and is down close to the 10-yard line.
Gibson in motion. Green fakes, dumps a pass, complete to the tight end on the 6-yard line. Now the fullback moves. Gators are moving with him. And so we're going to give it to Brown. Brown's going to come out to the right and dive in the corner and score. Thomas Brown, who just came out to the right, got to the corner and really got nailed after he'd gone through the end zone. But the Dogs have got it up to a 20-7.
Well, there's no substitute for speed, is there? Thomas Brown has got it. He got to the corner. There was a man there to make the hit, but Thomas Brown just ran right around him, got to the edge and down the sideline and over to the pylon.
The 3 touchdowns doesn't mean anything. I want 6. Extra point, Bailey. And the kick is up, and the kick is good, and Georgia leads 21-7. Second quarter here. Let's take another timeout. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. 21-7. 12 minutes left in the half. I wonder what the score will be at the end of the half. And we hit a ball very high. Going to come about a yard in the end zone. They'll run it out. McCullum at the 10 to the 15. One man rolled him between the 15 and 20. On a dive on that grass.
It's Kellen Johnson came in from the near side.
Yeah.
He's one of the gunners on the outside and just dove right in at his legs and made the stop.
See if they go to that screen again. They got 3 men wide and they got the running back in motion. Yeah, they do. They flag down. They dump it to the screen. We tackle it on the 13. Small, a receiver caught it. The Dogs came around the blocker. Tim Jennings nailed him. Florida lined up with that screen that's been just beating our ears in the last 2 years and immediately completed it. Snap, handoff, and they're going to run facing for 5, and he's going to get about 6 or 7, and we hit him on the 17. Florida has had a couple of penalties that have stopped their offense here. They'll be in a punting situation on the 18, and they're already lined up, and they want to punt. Wilbur ready to punt. Florida's on their 18, 4th and 10. Thomas Flowers going to look in the sun now. waiting to receive the punt. Spiral that is going to settle down a little short. He takes it on their 48. It got to their 45, got to their 40, twisting, and got to their 39. Florida's in a 5-4. Fullback in motion. Handoff, trying to pick his way. There was Danny Ware. He got all the way to the goal line, I believe. He ran between right guard and right tackle, and Harris, the defensive end, got him, but I think he came down about a foot shy. We're in that power setup. We're on the Florida 1-yard line. Florida's got 7 on the line. We got a man in motion, and there's a fumble. Watch that ball. There's a pileup, and I think Florida may have the ball. And the ball game might change here. We dropped the ball. The exchange between Green and Schnetzer, I believe. We dropped the ball. McCullough, their linebacker, has recovered on the 1-yard line. Sometimes whole games change on one thing that happens. And let's hope that wasn't one of them. So the Gators get the ball on their own 1-yard line. We have fumbled on the 1 with 6:27 in the half, and we already had a 21-7 lead. What happens now? Florida got the quarterback Leak underneath. They got an eye. They only have one wide receiver. Leak brings a receiver in motion. He hands, he fakes. He's drifting across the end zone, and we're chasing him, and he's going to throw a long ball deliberately out behind their bench. He puts a fullback in motion. He hands it to the running back, who breaks out and came all the way out close to the 10. Theatric facing that fine running back. Had a hole in the middle. Derek White had to get him and did. And Davis, I think, is down, lying on about the 9-yard line.
He got his ankle caught up under him as he was trying to make that tackle. His leg got bent back, and his ankle kind of went in an ugly opposite direction. But he's up and okay and jogging and limping off the field, and the crowd likes that.
He limps off, and the Georgia fans have hope that he can come back because he's such a devastating tackler. Leak underneath on 3rd down. The Gators trying to march for the 3rd time. Toss sweep to Faison. Moses got in and grabbed him and knocked him down around the 41. Quentin Moses from behind got him right around kind of the hips or the belt line of the pants and hung on to him and pulled him down. And now it's 4th down. Georgia back down on their own 8. A few minutes ago, we were on the other guy's 1. We're in an eye, 2 wideouts. Brown is now the tailback. So we're going to go to Thomas Brown, and he tries to dodge in there, and there's no room to run. He got 1.5 yards and knocked back. We are on our own 16. 4th and about 2. Tereshinski talking to his lineman. Pushes one of the blockers. And the kick, good spiral. Brown is backing up for Florida, takes it on the 40 to the 45, and we got hit just shy of the 50-yard line. Leak going to take it and going to give it to Faison, who's got 5-10 yards, got 15-17 yards. We can't stop him when he runs up in the middle. Big junior running back Greg Blue got him, took his feet out, flipped him down, and it'll be a 1st down for the Gators. They put it on our 34. Here's Florida down there knocking on the door again. 98 seconds left in the half. The Gators got 3 wideouts left, 1 right. They're in a shotgun. Leak takes it. He's drifting to the left looking. Now he wants to run. He can't. Pollock got him on the 32. Very big tackle.
Well, he got the sack, and he got the record then because they took away a half sack from him after last week's game against Arkansas.
Leak takes it and drops back looking, fires, and we deflect it. Thurman jumped high in the air on the 25 and got one hand on it and knocked it down. He threw it hard right over the middle. Large play here. They are on our 22-yard line. 31 seconds and a half. It's 4th down and 8. And they set it down and they put that ball up in the air. No good. He missed it to the left. They missed a field goal. Boy, they sure took a shot at it in a hurry. They ran to that line. And he hit a ball like it was hit like a rocket. 10 seconds and a half, and the Gators did not score. And Green will drop to a knee, and the half is going to end right there. That's the end of the half. Georgia 21, Florida 7. Who knows what's going to happen in that second half?
Second half getting set to get underway, and here once again to tell you about it, the voice of the Georgia Bulldogs, Larry Munson.
Yeah, geez, we said we wondered who was going to get their early quick jump and get the other guy down maybe. And Florida would come roaring out like wild men, we all figured. We got the first jump. We got the first scores and had the opportunities. Florida will kick off. Petrovich from Chicago kicks it straight ahead. And we will back up a yard or two deep in Downing. Browning went down with the ball about 2 yards in the end zone and downed it. Then it'll come out to the 20. First down, we are on the 20, and the snap is to Green. And Green is looking and throws complete to Reggie Brown on the 29, and they'll knock him down to the 32, but it'll be a first down. Snap to Green. They're coming on him. They're chasing him, and he fires it away incomplete across the field. So the Gators have stopped us dead. We cannot move. We'll have to give them the ball back. Fourth down, 10 on the 32. Low snap, but he picked it up. Beautiful, long spiral, long kick. Brown took it down on a 17. Boy, did he get his foot in that thing. Leak takes it, fires right over the middle. First down up around the 39. Threw a bullet to O.J. Small, the wide receiver. Going to take a snap. Going to hand the ball to Faison and run him with a hole. He shot it left tackle. Fumble, and the ball is out rolling. It rolls for Florida 8 more yards forward. The clock is leaning the wrong way. Andre Caldwell, a flanker, fell on that ball up in front of the play in the pile. Faison got hit, and the ball coughed up, and then they gained another 6-7 yards on the fumble. They are on our 48, and the Gators are coming again. Fakes, bootlegs out to the left. The man's coming on him, and got him on a sack way back to the 36-yard line. And that was big Will Thompson who made that play off his right end. He bootlegged out, really trying to do it in a sneaky fashion, though he was 10 yards or more behind the line, and Thompson got him. And the loss carried the ball all the way back to the 38-yard line. Gators are going to be second down and very long. Leak retreating, fires for the sideline, threw it too high, out of bounds.
Dogs had good pressure defensively. Again, Will Thompson in there because Leak ended up on his backside, and he had to force it a little. He had to throw it a lot sooner than he wanted to, as he had the man on the near sideline, but incomplete.
Wilbur going to punt. Good spiral, and Flowers going to catch it on the 10. The man bounced and missed him. He got to the 15. Flowers to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, the 38, the 40, down around the 43. Young Thomas Flowers running, kind of careening sideways those last 8 or 9 yards. 43-yard punt and a 34-yard return. Something like that can sometimes really give you a jack. We got 2 wide outs. Green fakes with the play action of the tail. There's a man open down the middle. It's a big tight end. Leonard Pope all the way down to the 30. He almost broke it. Caught it right down the middle, running hard, kind of on a hash marks, and went down leaning left. We got a first down on our 30. We were thrown to Pope, remember, early in the ball game and scored a couple with that one guy. Andy Bailey going to try a very critical field goal for us with Jordan to snap it and Jackson to hold. The ball is on the 30-yard line. Going to try to kick a 40-yarder. Florida's in an 8-3 setup. Set it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. Bailey stuck it in there. Well, we got 3 points. It's been a while since we've scored. 24-7. Timeout. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. 24-7. The way these two teams started out on each other, it looked like by this time it would have been 38-36. But it slowed down a little. Or was it a lot? The 2 will kick off. He hits it high. Going to come down around the goal line. It's caught on the 2-yard line. McCullum streaking, pushes a blocker. Going to the right across the 20 and the 25, and we're going to hit him on around the 27. Trey Battle had to take him out. Takes it. Drops back, looking. Now he's going to run. One man missed him, and the second man will come up and get him up around the 42 or 3. 3 wideouts to the left, 2 to the right. Are they going to do the screen? What are they going to do? Leaks back in a shotgun. Third down, about 6. He retreats. He's got a lot of time. He fires complete right down the middle to our 45. And breaking loose is Caldwell is going to score a touchdown. They just have too much speed for you. He just streaked down the right side. He caught a ball right in the middle. And the Gators can strike from anywhere, and we've all been sitting up here and kind of mentioning that in the last hour or so among ourselves, that they just look like they're going to score at any moment. It's 24-13. We're down to 11 points. He ran through some tacklers after catching a low, hard ball thrown right in the middle. Matt Leach will try the extra point. 24-13. The extra point is going to be up in there, and the kick is good, and it's 24-14, and now you got a 10-point game. And the question now is, do we have enough steam left to mount some kind of an offense? Let's take a quick SEC timeout on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Well, now we're way down on our own 7.5. We got a long drive in front of us. Green, play action fake, goes down the sideline. Couldn't hold on as he got hit on the 32. We got 3 wideouts. Green goes back to the goal line to pass down the middle. And Reggie dropped the ball before he got hit. He was wide open out around the 25. Dropped the pass and got hit a second later by Kyle Jackson, the corner. Florida stacked up the line a little bit. Then he got his kickoff. Long kick. And Florida's man deep back on the 23-yard line. Burnell Brown down the far right sideline and out of bounds over there on their bench around the 40-43. They can flat run. 59-yard punt and a quick 20-yard return. They have so many guys that look like trackmen. It's always that way, though, every year. They run a toss sweep to Faison out to the right. He pushes a blocker from behind. May have been Pollock. Pulled him down on the 42. Standing back there, he runs back in motion to the right. Now he retreats the throw. He dumps it complete and low on the 40-yard line, but they were going to rule. I think he trapped the ball in the grass, facing the running back. Gators in a shotgun with 3 wideouts. Leak takes a snap. He's back. Looks. There goes a long one down that right side. He missed him. He shot over. They took a shot at that corner again down the right side. Intended for a 6'3 receiver, Dallas Baker, and he threw it over him out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Green going to give it to Thomas Brown. They hit him behind the line. We have no blocking now. I'm afraid they might be taking over the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Mincy, the big defensive end, reached around and grabbed him. Shotgun with Green. Green going to take it and look and throws a bullet. Drop by an open receiver on the 28. Fred Gibson curled around, down low on one knee, and the ball just was right in his breadbasket, and it shot out. And old lady Luck is just shaking her head at us. Absolutely, you can really see it. Ball goes back to about the 17.5 where it was. It's 4th down, and we'll have to kick it away. The snap is all right, and the kick is up good, long. Ely Kelso punt, long spiral to the 31, and the first man down hit him. Great punt and great coverage. Mike Gilliam, a junior from Tallahassee. 52-yard punt and minus a yard return. Again, Ely Kelso has kicked us out of a hole, and we covered it well. Gilliam really got down there. So the Gators got the ball. They are on their own 30. 27 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We've got 10 points by the skin of our teeth. Leak going to take it, fakes a screen, runs over to the right to catch us flat-footed and bootlegs out and dives up around the 38. He got about 7-8 yards. Leak underneath going to take it, run an option down the sideline. Pitch it to big Faison. Faison's got 5, he's got 10, he's got about 12 or 13. They've got blocking and they've got speed. Greg Blue had to get him as he just came across the 50-yard line. And it's another 1st down for Florida. Defensively, we look like we are really worn out, but remember the loss of Thomas Davis may have had a little bit to do with that. 4 wideouts. Leak. Option pitches it out to Faison, and Faison's going to get 10. He's going to get 20. He's going to get 30. He runs over a man. He goes all the way down to about our 25. Just too much speed and too much strength. Odell Thurman had to pull him down. They ran a beautiful option out to the right. He pitched the option high. Faison had to catch the ball with one hand, and then he started going. The Gators are just biting it off in big chunks, and they have awakened their crowd up in support of this team that lost its coaches. Man, are they sky high and are they coming. But we still got 10 points. Leak takes it. He hands it off, and Thornton's got a huge hold of the tackle and goes all the way to our 4.5. We look like we are just dog-tired and can't lift a leg up. They're just driving us backward. The Gators, quickly, they run up to the line. They're in a power I set, and they give it to the tail end. Now Leak has got it, and he throws a touchdown pass in the corner. Good fake. Leak fake to the back. Leak sprinted to the left sideline and lobbed it over to Billy Letchko, the fullback. And it's 24-20. Everything they do, it moves so quick. Speed is a killer, man. Leach to try and make it a three-point game, and the kick is up. The kick is good, and it's 24-21. There's still 12 minutes. Timeout. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Well, we got 85 yards and a fraction to go. It's 24-21. Now, is their defense still going to be sky high again? All those people that made all those remarks and cracks about all those fired coaches, they have come alive. They've got that team just sky high. We're on our own 15, maybe an inch inside of it. Snap to David Green. Looks, coming out here running. Green's going to run 10, 12. He's going to throw to Reggie Brown, and Reggie Brown caught it on the 40, and they pull him down on the 33. Reggie Brown got behind him. Green threw on a run, came across the left, threw it from about the 13-yard line. And Reggie Brown was pulled down by Kyle Jackson, a corner. You see, you're still alive. It ain't by much, but you're still alive.
How about that? Green looking like Chris Leak on that play. I think everybody thought he was just going to get rid of it and throw it away, but he just threw it deep and knew Reggie Brown would go and get it. He was beyond the two defenders for Florida.
Got more than 11 minutes to play. Green threw on a run coming out toward the left sideline, and Reggie got behind him and caught one. 3 wideouts. Backs are in an I. We're just outside of their 30. Green, play action fake, looking, fires to Reggie Brown, complete down on the 16-yard line, and he got pinched right away by Demetrius Webb, a cornerback. So Green and Reggie Brown have brought us down to their 16-yard line where it is first down. We're ahead 24-21. Bailey and Gibson go out to the right. Reggie Brown is to the left. We're on their 16-yard line. Lead has been cut to 3. Green looks at everybody, gets back down behind the center. We're in an I. Going to give it to the tail, and he broke off. And little Brown is fighting his way. He got over the 10 and is driven back. Gators in the 5. We're in an I. Fake. And he fires right down the middle. Touchdown! 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 Fred Gibson caught a ball running right to left. Green hit him. Green hit him with a 15-yarder. He was barely inbounds on that back sideline, on that back line. 30-21. Don't give up. Bailey will try the extra point. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. Now, 31-21. I don't know how long we'll have them, but we got 10 points again. Boy, did Green thread the needle to Gibson, who was barely keeping his feet in on that back of the end zone. Timeout, pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. You got 8 minutes and 37 seconds. There's time for each team to get 28 points. There's so much time left.
Boy, it really looked like Georgia's offense was just stagnant, Larry. Since that fumble on the 1-yard line when Georgia had a chance to go up 28-7, the Dogs had gone 3 and out on a punt, another punt. They managed a field goal. They went 3 and out 2 more times after that and had to kick away. That's their first significant drive since that fumble.
Leak in a shotgun, takes it, retreats a little bit and looks, and we got him back there on about the 16. He held it too long. Pollock got him. There's still 8 minutes. That's all day to play. We got all day to play. Leak underneath. Leak going to hand it to the tailback. Face it. He broke off a couple of tackles and took it all the way out to the 40. We had him on the 32 or 3, and he just with sheer power pulled it away from us. Leak takes it, drops back, looks wide open to run, fires. It is complete on our 32, first down to about our 29. O.J. Small got behind him. Demario Midder had a save what may have been a touchdown in the vicinity of the 30, and here are the Gators, 5:45 to go. We've got a 10-point lead that is not going to hang on till 11 o'clock or something. Leak takes it. He drops back. He looks, and somebody grabbed him, and somebody got him. Quentin Moses got him. Though he was being blocked back in the 35, Quentin Moses reached and pulled him down. It's 4th down and 15. They are on our 35. They got a field goal set for 52 yards from out on the 42. Matt Leach, who beat us last year, you remember, right at the end. The Gators are going to try a field goal, and the kick is up. It's close. It's close. It's good. And the Gators had a long field goal, and now the 10 points has disappeared, and you're down to 7. 31-24. And what now must have to be the longest and the most successful drive of the year will have to start right here. 3:28 to go. SEC timeout here on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. 31-24. You never give up. You just never give up. He sets the ball in a certain way on the tee. They're going to try an onside kick. We got a 7-point lead. The Gators now getting ready for the crucial kickoff of the game. Here it comes. And caught, I think, by Reggie Brown on the 50. Caught it on the 50 and hugged with the ball. Dogs have got the ball. We got 7 points, 3 minutes and 28 seconds, which is an eternity. Got an eye, got 2 wideouts. Florida 5 men on the line. Green's going to hand it, and we run that tailback, and Danny Ware runs for about 10. Outside of our left end and their right end. Jarvis Herring, the free safety, got him. Did he get a first down? I don't know. He hasn't put it down yet. Ball is shy of the 40. We might be 4 or 5 inches short. I think we are at 2nd down. Clock is moving. It's a little bit less than 3 minutes now. 2:56, but it's moving. 2nd down, and I think we need 8 or 9 inches. We walk up to the line just shy of the Florida 40. We got to get it over the 40. Florida 5 men up on the line. We got 1 man split wide to the right, and David Green gives it to the fullback, and they jam him up, and I don't know if we got it. We try to run a fullback at left guard. I don't think we got any push on that side of the line. You mean they're even stronger than we are? It's going to be 3rd down and 6 or 8 inches. This is the whole thing. The ball is sitting right outside of the 40. They've got such momentum, we can't push and move them. We got to push and move them. Reggie Brown out to the right. 2:04. Don't give up. We're in an eye. Green underneath looking at that 5-4 setup. He has a tight end sliding in motion. He gives it to the tailback, and the tailback got a first down by maybe 19 inches. Went in the left tackle. Danny Ware crossed over the 40 to the 39 with 1:44. Florida will stop the clock. Florida will stop the clock there with 1:44. Danny Ware got a block over on that left side somewhere. Maybe between Inman and Jones, or else between Shackelford and Valesco. On that left side, we've rotated those people. We got a first down on the Florida 39. And the clock moves. They didn't call time. They're letting it run. We are down to 88 seconds. The Dogs up to the line. Gibson splits wide right. Reggie Brown to the left. 5-man line. Green going to hand it to Danny Ware. 5, 6, 7, 8 yards down inside of the 30. He got almost 10. Danny Ware trying to pull his legs. Kyle Jackson, cornerback on the right side, was the one that pulled him down. We may have to measure this thing with 1:07 seconds. Danny Ware just pulled his leg free. Ball is on their 28. It's a first down. We got a first down on the Florida 28. Time call to stop the clock with 67 seconds. We've got the ball, and we got 67 seconds. The students suddenly came up alive. They were alive, but now they're really up alive. They think they smell that we can hold on to the ball long enough. We are on their 28-yard line, 31-24. The recovery of the onside kick at midfield was really big, but this last run that happened just a moment ago was really big. Everything is. We are on their 28-yard line.
Ware's now over 100 yards for the fourth time this season, 103 yards on 18 carries for the freshman out of Rockmart.
1 minute and 7 seconds, which is way too much time. Gee, do you remember when we had them 21-7 and we were what? Down around the 1 goal to go, or was it the 6-inch line? We were really down in there, and it didn't go right. Now look at us, hours later, look at us. Georgia fans are up on their feet, wondering if we're going to hold on for these seconds that are left. Here come the tired old dogs out of that huddle. We're on to 28, and we are 1 minute and 12. Green going to take a knee as he steps back to the 31. He takes that knee, and the clock is 67, 66. Florida called time and stopped it right there. Gators have run out of timeouts. We've run out of timeouts, and we have also run out of blood. Boy, are we a dog-tired bunch, but we got the ball. We are in that safe thing where the quarterback gets down behind his center, and he takes it, and then he takes a knee. And Green does it right there. This time he goes back about 4 yards. He let a couple seconds ago. Now look at the clocks moving. 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. All these years, the seconds are ticking. 51, 50. We're ahead 31-24. Members of our offense started to jump up and down. Watch the clock. 42 seconds. 40 seconds, 39, 38, 37, 36. You never give up. Never give up. The dogs come out of the huddle. We go into stay set by putting it back way back behind Green. And Green takes it, and Green steps on his knee and takes the ball and walks back. And the official says he wants the ball. And Green goes up and lets him have the ball. And the crowd is breaking out. You'll never keep them off the field, but who cares? We hung on by the skin of something. I don't know what. It couldn't have been teeth. But we hung on, and we beat them 31-24. And in the final analysis, what won it, the defense or the offense? A little bit of everything in the second half. Yeah, you're right. Green was really throwing that ball. There's a huge crowd out in the center of the field. The Dogs bench emptied out. I can't believe we won the ball game. It was absolutely gone and away from us and was lying there on the grass. The Dogs have won 31-24, but how? How did they win that ball game? Dogs win by 7. Singular wireless call of the game will be next on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network.
That is awesome. I was hoping not to take a shower after the game. I think I just did. That away, GA. That way, Sway-O. That way, Blue. Good job, Coach. That's right. Hey, man, congratulations. Hey, it took everybody to do it. Everybody fought their heart out. I just can't say enough for everybody. I mean, y'all fought hard. We did what we had to do to win. They're a very good football team, playing for a lot, but we were playing for a lot too. And I just can't say how proud I am of every player, every coach, manager, trainer, and everybody else who helps us. I'm just so thankful for that. And really kind of speechless. I'm just glad we finally got that big gorilla off our back.
Just another win. Hey, Coach, I'd like to say something. I know I talk a lot about kicking game and defense, but I want to commend the offensive line for that last drive.
All right, set your clocks back 1 more hour to celebrate, baby. Listen up. Hey, I appreciate y'all making this walk down that long hallway a good one.
When a big game comes along, there are times that great players disappear. They shy away from the pressure associated with such a contest and fail to perform at their best. There are other players that jump at the opportunity to seize control, to make the game their own. There was one man willing to take control of the 1976 Georgia-Florida game, and his name was Ray Goff. The Moultrie, Georgia native had led the Dogs to a 7-1 record and a number 7 national ranking. More than 70,000 were in attendance, and a national television audience tuned in to see these two explosive offenses. The day started well for Georgia. They went on a 10-play, 75-yard drive. Goff, a powerful runner, picked up 47 of the yards from his quarterback position. He ended the drive with this 9-yard run, and Georgia led 7-0. The Florida offensive machine was relentless, but the junkyard defense would make huge plays throughout the game. The Gators would score 27 points in the first half, but they took a horrible beating in the process. The Georgia D was slowly wearing them down. In the second quarter, Florida jumped ahead 14-7. The Georgia offense would respond. Goff leads a drive to the 8-yard line. Goff was rarely called on to pass in his collegiate career, but he went by air to Ulysses Norris on this play for the touchdown. The extra point was no good, and the Gators were clinging to a 14-13 lead. Florida would score twice more before the half. Earl Carr would scamper 29 yards. The point after was no good, and it was 20-13. Then with only 9 seconds to go, Fisher to Chandler for the 9-yard score. The Gators have the lead at the half, 27-13.
We went in at halftime. We were down by 2 touchdowns. The score was 27-13. We had really played pretty good. We had gone up down the field. I think we had thrown an interception just before halftime, which would have cut it to 1 touchdown. But we had a lot of confidence that we could score and move the football because we had done it in the first half. And our biggest concern was that they were doing the same thing also. And I'll never forget going in the dressing room at halftime. It was probably the calmest dressing room I've ever been in, where you're down by 2 touchdowns. I mean, our players had a peace and a confidence that we could come back and we would win the football game.
After regrouping in the locker room, the Dogs stuck with their game plan and kept the ball on the ground. Goff was the field general. His troops included Kevin McLeay and Al Pollard. The offensive line was anchored by Mike Wilson and Joel Parrish. On its second possession of the second half, Georgia churned its way down the field. An 81-yard drive was capped by Goff's second touchdown pass of the day. This one also goes to Ulysses Norris, and it was 27-20 Florida. With momentum turning in Georgia's favor, the Bulldog D rose to the occasion. They forced Florida into a 4th and 1. But in the history books, it's now referred to as 4th and dumb. Despite the fact that he had the lead, Florida head coach Doug Dickey elected to go for it from his own 29. Big mistake. Earl Carr was the ball carrier. Johnny Henderson was the tackler. Doug Dickey was the GOAT. It was a huge error, and the Dogs would take advantage. Al Pollard's 2-yard run ties the game at 27. Motivated by their fourth down play, the Junkyard Dog defense would not let Florida anywhere near the end zone the rest of the game. Meanwhile, the Georgia offense would ride the leadership in the legs of number 10. A 70-yard drive ended when Goff broke free for a 5-yard touchdown. The Dogs had taken the lead 34-27 despite trailing by 2 touchdowns when the half started. Goff, Pollard, and McLee would continue the assault. Pollard would finish the day with 82 yards on 22 carries. McLee would accumulate 198 yards on 30 carries. To this day, it remains one of the top rushing performances in the history of the series. But this game belonged to Ray Goff. Georgia's final drive covered 80 yards in 16 plays and took 7 minutes off the clock. Ball control football at its best. Goff went the final yard himself and gave the game its final margin of 41-27 Georgia. Ray Goff's numbers truly incredible. He was 5 for 5 in passing for 37 yards and 2 scores. But the durable quarterback carried it 17 times for 124 yards and 3 touchdowns. All total, Goff was responsible for 30 of Georgia's points. One of the greatest individual performances in Georgia-Florida history. The Gators' hopes of an SEC title were crushed by Goff and the Dogs, while Georgia went on to win the SEC crown and finished 10-2. Ray Goff would win SEC Player of the Year honors, and the Florida Gators could tell you why.
And you know that every assignment ain't gonna have to be perfect, try to stop these guys. So once you get in the huddle, everybody's shaking, some guys crying, like, this it, it's up to us. If we're gonna win this game, it's up to us. I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on the defense, but, it seemed like game in and game out, we stood up to that pressure.
The rich drama that unfolded on the field at the Gator Bowl in the fall of 1980 could not have been scripted by Hollywood's best writer. They say that truth is stranger than fiction. But the truth of this game is that it would take the greatest play in the history of this series, perhaps the history of any series, to settle the outcome. The 1980 Georgia team had rolled through its schedule, riding the broad shoulders and legs of arguably the greatest college football running back of all time, Herschel Walker.
5, 10, 12, he's running over people. Oh, you Herschel Walker.
Just a freshman, Walker had gained nearly 1,100 yards through Georgia's first 8 games. The Dogs were cruising with a record of 8-0 and boasted a number 2 national ranking. Florida, meanwhile, entered the contest ranked number 20. The Gators were relying heavily on a freshman as well. Wayne Peace had assumed the Gators' quarterbacking duties in midseason, and he would have been the star of the game. That is, if Florida had won. November 8th, 1980 was a beautiful day, and for Georgia fans, things on the field were going perfectly from the opening kickoff. On the 3rd play of the game, Herschel Walker would do his thing. Using the power and speed that Bulldog fans were already becoming accustomed to, he bolted through the Gator defense en route to a 72-yard touchdown run.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, there goes Herschel, there goes Herschel. Herschel Walker has just gone 72.5 yards for the touchdown.
We came in knowing we had to run the football, and the sweep was a play we were very dependent on. And to see that we were going to have success running the football early was a tremendous boost for us. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, even with an early touchdown.
It was just the beginning of a very productive day for number 34. All in all, he would carry 37 times for an incredible 238 yards. Following Herschel's heroics, the Georgia defense would come up with a turnover. Jacksonville native Mike Fisher would pick off Peace to give the Dogs the ball back. But Georgia would give it right back on an Amp Arnold fumble. Florida would take advantage of the mistake. They would drive to the Bulldog 23-yard line. That allowed Brian Clark to kick a 40-yard field goal to put Florida on the board. In the second quarter, the Georgia offense continued to pound the ball. With the Gator defense concerned with stopping Herschel, Ronnie Stewart was able to ram his way into the end zone. Georgia had a 14-3 lead. Then these two possession offenses had a little trouble holding on to the pigskin. Peace fumbles at the 22. Blue is intercepted by Ivory Curry. Herschel Walker fumbles at the 46. The two teams combined for 4 turnovers in the first half. But the Florida offense would get in gear before the second quarter expired. Chris Collinsworth would be the key man in the drive. First, a nice gain on the end around. Then Peace connects with Collinsworth for a 13-yard gain. And it's Peace to Collinsworth again for the touchdown that made it 14-10 at the half. Fans had already been tantalized by one of the best first halves in series history, but the best was yet to come.
We knew what our game plan was, and we weren't going to change that. But just to get back and sort of regroup and refocus was tremendous. I mean, I can remember looking back and listening to Eric Russell talk to the defense, and I got excited again and just couldn't wait to get back out on the field. And I think a lot of people on the offense had a tendency to sort of turn their ear toward Eric Russell because you know, he was such a tremendous motivator and really had that defense ready to play.
In the second half, Georgia continued to rely heavily on the bulldozer named Herschel. He powered his way through the Gator defensive front in the third quarter time and time again. 2 Georgia drives resulted in Rex Robinson field goals. The Dogs had a comfortable 20-10 lead entering the fourth quarter. But as both sides will attest, in this series, no lead is safe. Peace would find Tyrone Young on a slant pattern, but it would turn into a much bigger play. 54 yards later, the Gators were in business at the Georgia 11. Just as quickly as Florida moved the ball down the field, they managed to put it into the end zone. James Jones does the honors, 20-16 Georgia. Instead of kicking the extra point and trailing by 3, Florida elected to go for the 2-point conversion. Peace finds Young again, and it's 20-18 Georgia with 14 minutes still to play. Once again, it was anybody's game, but momentum had definitely turned in favor of the orange and blue. With the lead now within reach, the Florida defense rallied. Georgia was forced to punt. The Gators would drive back into Georgia territory. They would be rewarded with a 40-yard field goal that put Florida in front for the first time in the ball game. It was the slimmest of leads, 21-20, less than 7 minutes to play. The Georgia offense once again had trouble moving the ball. The rejuvenated Florida defense had not allowed the Bulldogs any scoring chances at all in this, the critical fourth quarter. With a little less than 6 minutes to play, Georgia was forced to punt. Mark Malkowicz responded with a beauty. The kick sailed 56 yards through the Jacksonville sky, and the Gators would take over possession at their own 31. And they would maintain possession. It looked like they might eventually run out the game clock, but the Bulldog defense would force a Florida punt. When it rolled out of bounds at the 8-yard line, Georgia's chances looked dim.
But really, there wasn't too much to be said. I mean, we knew we just wanted a field goal out of the drive. And that's what I communicated immediately was, guys, let's just get Rex Robinson a chance to win this thing for us because he had done it so many times before. So we weren't thinking touchdown. We knew we had a long way to go.
With a scoreboard clock behind them and the length of the field in front of them, the Dogs' mission seemed hopeless. On first down, Buck Bellew was flushed out of the pocket. He stepped out of bounds for a loss of 1. On second down, Bellew's pass to Charles Jr. was incomplete. It was now 3rd and 11 with 1:03 to play. Georgia's perfect season was hanging in the balance, but as they had done so often in 1980, this Georgia team would find a way to win. Time was running out, but the game wasn't over, and this offense would do its finest piece of work when the glow of the spotlight was fading.
We were backed up on the 8-yard line, 2 incomplete passes, 3rd down, and I think Florida was celebrating. They absolutely thought that they had won the game.
And one of the defensive tackles were basically saying, look, Dogs, it's over. We've won this thing. Forget it, that kind of thing, with some expletives thrown in, of course.
Well, to be honest, I remember that we were calm. I don't think we really got rattled about it. Sort of like we knew that we were going to win the game. You know, you went out and you called a play, and sort of like everything was like calm, like we just knew that's what was supposed to happen, and that's what happened, and we ended up winning it.
Looking back, it seems to be in slow motion. I dropped back a token fake to Herschel. I mean, come on, everybody knew we weren't going to run the football at this point in time, so I really didn't give the play action fake like I needed to. But I felt a little pressure from the backside. David Galloway sort of collapsed our protection back into me, and I was able to bounce outside, and Nat Hudson, our fine tackle, really made a good block to crush him on down inside of me, which gave me an opportunity to come out wide. And really, I needed a little extra time because Lindsey at the time was behind David Little, their middle linebacker, and I had time to really point Lindsey, really telling him to stop. Nonverbal communication only could happen with somebody that had worked with each other for 3 or 4 years. He knew immediately what I wanted him to do. I pointed at him. I needed him to stop, and at that point in time, David Little continued moving. Gave me an opportunity, a lane, an alley to get Lindsey the ball, and once he caught it, I immediately thought, first down, we've got 4 more plays.
And as soon as Lindsey hit the ground, I was excited because I said, well, we got the first, and that's all I wanted. As soon as he hit the ground, he took off in the right direction, that is away from the Florida people, had that instinct to do that, and started running. I said, well, we got more than the first down. I said, we got a lot more than the first down. In fact, I started running with him. I remember I was ahead of him for the first 10 yards, and then he finally passed me.
From the scouting report, they had nobody in their secondary that could run with Lindsey Scott, so once it got to a foot race, this emotion came out of me knowing that he was going to take this thing the distance.
When I saw him break to the outside, I knew then it was going to be scoring time. I knew it then.
Ballou would drop back to pass. He would roll to his right. Nat Hudson would throw a key block to protect his quarterback. Lindsey Scott would haul it in. And when he turned upfield, he was a foot race away from eternal Bulldog glory. Lindsey would win that race. 93 yards later, Georgia had reclaimed its superiority 26-21. The radio call of legendary Georgia play-by-play man Larry Munson has become almost as famous as the play itself.
Florida in a stand-up fire. They may or may not blitz. They won't. Buck back, third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Going to throw and a run. Complete to the 25, to the 30. Lindsey Scott 35, 40. Lindsey Scott 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, Lindsey. 25, 20, 50, 10, 5. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott. You know, this game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight and up at St. Simon's and Jekyll Island and all those places where all those dog people have got these condominiums for 4 days? Man, is there going to be some property destroyed tonight. 26-21. Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too. We were out of it and gone. Miracle.
Well, yeah, I was definitely surprised because I was just trying to, concentrating on getting the first down. I think it was like 3rd down and 11 when he called the play. And I was just concentrating on getting the first down, trying to get in field goal range. As I turned up field, I think the free safety slipped down and just gave me some open field and a lot of running.
Just to win it in that fashion just drained everybody emotionally. I think we were all in shock on what had happened. Of course, they still have the ball, and we had to concern ourselves with stopping them.
Well, you had the adrenaline knowing, like, look, if the offense can do this here, with that short of time, I know we can hold these guys. We can keep them from getting a field goal range.
Incredibly, it wasn't over yet. There was 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for Florida to pull off their own miracle. But Mike Fisher would put the final nail in the Gators' coffin when he intercepted this Wayne Peace pass. As the final seconds ticked off the clock, players, fans, and coaches celebrated one of Georgia's greatest moments.
The first time that our offense had to come behind late to win. But on the other hand, I like to, I wouldn't mind beating somebody a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 touchdowns, We
got to be grateful. I think we've learned a lesson. We got to be ready to play from the first snap, even though, we have the talent to take it down. And I don't want to make it this close ever again.
You know, as a kid, you always imagine being a part of something like this, and I can remember in the locker room sitting there thinking, you know, it's like a dream come true. I mean, to win a game of that importance in that fashion, and to be able to share it back in the locker room with the guys you work so hard with the year round, just such a very special moment.
Moment in Georgia football history, I guess at this time may be the greatest moment, not only for the play, but what it eventually led to, and that was the national championship. We could not have won the national championship. We could not have been undefeated without that play. And it will be, and it is, the greatest play in Georgia's history.
You know, they could remember Buck Bellew as throwing 4 interceptions against Clemson in '81, but they don't. They remember the pass to Lindsey Scott that beat Florida and enabled us to win a national championship. And to me, remember it in that fashion is something I'll carry to my grave, no question about it. It's just so special to so many people, and it means a lot to me to be a part of something like that.
Georgia's 1980 season would end with a Sugar Bowl victory over Notre Dame, a perfect 12-0 record, and a national championship. Thanks in large part to a play that in the huddle was called L76. But the generations of Georgia fans will always be affectionately known as Bellew to Scott.
Complete to the 25, to the 30, Lindsey Scott 35-40, Lindsey Scott 45-50, 45-40, 1, Lindsey, 25-20, 50, 10, 5, Lindsey Scott, Lindsey Scott, Lindsey Scott.
Walker again. Big hole. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Walker, touchdown. Touchdown, Georgia.
If you look up domination in the dictionary, it will refer you to the records from the 1982 Georgia-Florida game. In one of the most lopsided victories in the history of the series, the Dogs cruised to a 44-0 triumph over their enemies to the south. Wayne Peace and Herschel Walker had both performed well for their respective teams in 1980 and in 1981. In this matchup, Walker would continue that trend. Peace would not. It would be easy to say that the Dogs took control from the opening snap, but that's really not true. John Lastinger did throw an interception on the opening drive, but from that point on, Georgia was flawless. The Bulldog defense would get the ball back, though. Kevin Jackson strips the pigskin from Peace. Stan Dooley recovers. Florida may have had peace, but the Georgia defense went to war. They harassed the Gator quarterback for the entire contest, registering 6 sacks in the process.
Peace. That's the end of the line. He's sacked.
They were weighing down. They were big. We were pushing them around. We were running around them. That was the main thing. We could run around them and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And when you get in those situations, I'm telling you, it's like the best thing in life that you ever want to have as far as getting to the quarterback, trying to put pain on.
When the Georgia offense came back on the field, the Herschel steamroller was picking up speed. He would break free for a 30-yard touchdown run. The Dogs had the only points they would need, but they would get many more. Not yet prepared to concede, the Gators carved out a drive and were knocking on the door. But on 4th down, they went for the end zone, and Jeff Sanchez was there to deny them.
Going to throw a high lob pass, and it is broken up and intercepted on the goal line. Jeff Sanchez, fighting that 6', 6" kid, got up in the air in front of him and fell back in the end zone. Little Jeff Sanchez intercepted it.
Then, like Patton's Army, Georgia attacked patiently and methodically. The offensive line pushed the Gators around, and Herschel found the holes. Walker would end the 7-minute drive with a 1-yard run that gave the Dogs a 14-0 second quarter lead.
And Herschel dives in the air, touchdown, up in the air, soaring over right tackle. Herschel sprung it up in the air and went in there and got it.
The Gators responded with another long drive, but once again they would be denied. They had a 1st and goal at the 5, but 2 Lorenzo Hampton carries and an incomplete pass later, it was 4th and goal. Once again, Charlie Pell chose to ignore the sure 3-pointer and go for the 6. But Hampton would not come close. Terry Hogue and Sanchez came up to make the play.
And they hand to Hampton, and they hit him. I don't know if he got in there. The Dogs are jumping up and down and say they stopped him 8 inches shy. Lorenzo Hampton starting out and slanting in. Tried to lunge in and didn't get it. Georgia may have had a tremendous goal line stand. Look at that ball, 9 inches outside of the goal line.
and the shutout remained intact. But that play did more than end the drive. It also broke the Gators' spirit. On its next possession, an increasingly impatient Florida offense got frustrated and went for the bomb. Once again, Sanchez was prepared. The Bulldogs would then go to work, pounding their way down the field yard by yard. A 14-play, 73-yard drive culminating with a 32-yard Kevin Butler field goal. The Dogs had a 17-0 lead at the half. And believe it or not, as perfectly as things had gone the first half, for Georgia, they would only get better in the second. Florida's first possession, 3 plays, loss of 2 yards, punt. Georgia's first possession, Walker gains 53 yards in a drive that sets up another field goal, 20-0. On Florida's very next play, Peace fumbles, Stan Dooley pounces, and the floodgates were opening.
There's a pile-up and everybody jumping. Georgia might have the ball in the 19. Georgia's got the ball.
Georgia would need 5 plays, the last 4 by Herschel to get on the board again. Herschel's leap into the end zone put the Dogs up 27-0. No one knew it at the time, but that would be Herschel's last touchdown against Florida. For the junior would not return for his senior season. And the lead firmly in hand, Walker's day was done, with 35 carries for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns in less than 3 quarters of work. He hardly broke a sweat. This performance, in part, would help him win the Heisman Trophy a month later. The Bulldogs' backups would get on the act as well. Todd Williams would engineer an 11-play, 63-yard drive that would end with Carney Norris's 1-yard run, 34-0 Georgia. Stan Dooley would then get the hat trick. For the 3rd time, he would recover a Peace fumble. That led to another Butler field goal and a 37-0 lead. The Dogs would close out the scoring with another long drive, 10 plays, 64 yards. Tron Jackson scurrying the last 20 yards for the 44-0 final. Many times, statistics can be misleading, but this was not the case in 1982. The Dogs had 26 first downs to Florida's 10. Georgia had 395 yards rushing. Florida had just 34. Wayne Peace had only 102 yards passing and was responsible for 5 turnovers. The Dogs would once again finish with a perfect regular season. But it was the end of an era. Herschel Walker would never suit up to play the Gators again. Against Florida, Herschel had done some of his finest work. In 3 games, he rushed for 649 yards on 119 carries. In his time at Georgia, the Dogs were 33-3. Truly an incredible accomplishment. But equally important, during his time at Georgia, the Dogs were 3-0 against Florida. Georgia would eventually retire the number 34 jersey of Herschel Walker. But Florida fans have to be asking, is it a jersey they retired, or is it a cape?
When you're by yourself, when you're meditating, reflecting, do you ever think about 1980 and what does it mean to you?
Those people are my inspiration. People I played with at Georgia, people I played with in Wrightsville, because before there was a such thing as Herschel Walker, they were my friends. They were my people. They're the one that made me what I am. So, you know, they're the people they're my foundation. And that's why I say I think about them. Championships, you know, that's important once we put all of them together. But before I do that, I think about, you know, all the people there, Darryl Jones, Barrett. I think about everybody because, you know, that's important.
And then we'd come down and we'd mash them again, you know, have the ball for 6 or 7 minutes. And then they would go, they got us. I mean, you could just tell in their eye, and then we knew. We'd come to the sidelines and say, listen, they know. They know that we've got them. All we got to do is just keep on what we're doing, and it's just a matter of time.
When Florida and Georgia took the field at the Gator Bowl on a beautiful fall day, November 11th, 1989, the 2 programs were led by 2 men getting their first taste of this rivalry as head coaches. An NCAA investigation was hovering over the Florida program. Galen Hall had resigned after just 5 games in 1989 and had been replaced on an interim basis by Gary Darnell, the defensive coordinator. Ray Goff had taken over the Bulldogs program, and in this, his first season, the Dogs were 5-3 entering the game and were ranked 19th. The 1989 contest would feature two of the greatest running backs to ever play in the series. The Gators relied heavily on Heisman Trophy candidate Emmitt Smith. Meanwhile, Georgia had been opening up its offense more than it had in past seasons. But when it came to moving it on the ground, the Bulldog attack still had the capability to churn out the tough yardage thanks to the elusive Rodney Hampton. Florida came into Jacksonville with the #1 defense in the country, but it was the Georgia defense that rose to the occasion time and time again.
Douglas back to throw, got the time, over the middle, intercepted on the 27. It's Georgia's ball. Kirk Douglas of Lincolnton, Georgia.
The Dogs would get on the board first. They would march down the field on the game's opening drive that covered 54 yards in 14 plays. John Casey would connect on the 46-yarder, and Georgia had a 3-0 lead.
Dogs get first blood. You wonder what that means. It's 3-0. Hester will have time. Joey kicks it a mile high and long, and one of our men caught it on the 1 or 2. Then he dropped it, but we pile on it on the 1. Hester kicked it a block up in the air, and the Gators are in a hole on Hester's punt that our coverage team caught.
The kicking game, especially the punting of Joey Hester, would be a big advantage for the Dogs. Throughout the game, the Florida offense would find itself starting deep in its own territory.
And I told Joey, I challenged him in front of the team. I told him he was going to be a big factor. I thought he could be the biggest factor in the game, and I thought he did an outstanding job.
In the second quarter, the Gators would answer, thanks to the heroics of one man. Ernie Mills made 2 acrobatic catches to highlight a 2-minute, 80-yard drive. The final play of the drive was this 19-yard touchdown pass from Donald Douglas to Mills that gave Florida a 7-3 advantage. Florida would take that slim lead into the locker room at the half. And on their opening drive of the second half, the Gators looked poised to take complete control of the game. But the Bulldog defense would have no part of it. After marching down the field, the Gators were faced with a 3rd and 1 at the Georgia 22. Emmitt Smith, no gain.
And they go to Emmitt, and we hit him behind the line, and then he tried to crawl forward. Let's see the spot.
On 4th down, Darnell would choose to go for it. But Douglas would stumble, Emmitt Smith would run into a brick wall, and the Dogs would take over on downs.
He only gained 6 inches. He needed a couple of feet. It's going to be Georgia's ball. That may turn out to be big.
Wrap him up, and we got him.
2, fake to the full toss sweep. Emmitt coming out. One man got him upside down on the 37. No gain. They lost the yard.
Emmitt would spend the better part of the game in the warm embrace of the Georgia defenders. In his 3 years at Florida, he would never beat Georgia. And he says to this day, those are the most bitter defeats of his career. Then the Bulldog offense would make its only mistake of the afternoon. This Greg Talley pass was picked off by Ephesians Bartley, and once again, the Gators had hope. It was short-lived, however. Georgia was guilty of just 1 turnover. The Gators would commit 4. After a 22-yard pickup, Stacy Simmons would give the ball back to Georgia. The Dogs were now poised to turn the tide of battle. Talley to Arthur Marshall for a gain of 19. Then facing a 3rd and 1, the Dogs decided to gamble. The Florida defense was looking for Hampton over the middle. But Georgia passed, and Rodney scampered down the sidelines for a 29-yard gain.
And one of the reasons that play was open was because on 3rd and just a yard or 2, Florida was looking for Georgia to run that ball into the middle, and it was Hampton, of all people, who was open down the right side. Florida's confused a little bit on defense right now.
It was a great call, and it was executed extremely well. And I told Greg it was probably the worst-looking pass I'd ever seen, but he asked me if I wanted to take 7 points off board, and I said, no, it wasn't that bad.
Then Hampton would do what he does best, find the end zone. This 10-yard run would give Georgia the lead 10-7, and they would never trail again.
Come out of the huddle. Got to come out of the huddle.
Hey, way to go. I told you they couldn't stop it. Stay after it.
Smith.
This is ours, man. 4 quarters is ours, baby.
Tally to Rodney at the tackle. He pulled away to the 50.
While Hampton was rolling his way to a 121-yard rushing performance, Emmitt Smith was growing increasingly frustrated. He did rush for 106 yards on 22 carries, the one and only time he ever broke the century mark against Georgia, but he was kept out of the end zone, and his teammates kept turning it over. After Georgia had taken the lead, Florida would give the Dogs the ball back. Ben Smith leaps high above the Gator Bowl turf for the INT. It was one of the greatest individual plays in the history of the series.
Donald Douglas, their quarterback, is back to throw. Down the middle and intercepted on a leaping grab. Ben Smith very, very high on the 37.5. Ernie Mills went up with him. Ben Smith turned a somersault and landed on his back.
I told our football team that if there's a better defensive player in the country, secondary defensive back than Ben Smith, I'd like to see him. He's a big league player. Made some big league plays out there today, and it's a big difference in our football game. And I'm tickled he's at Georgia.
He's the greatest defensive back in the country. You know, I don't care what anybody says. I could care less. And I don't think anyone that's seen him play would dispute what I'm saying. There is no wide receiver in the country that would volunteer to go across the middle on us. I guarantee you. I don't care how tough they are. They just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
The Dogs would take over at the 37. From there, it was short work. Hampton with the touchdown vault. In 3 minutes' time, Georgia had scored 2 touchdowns and had a 17-7 lead.
Are you surprised at what happened today? No, I thought Dogs was going to do it all the way. I knew if the offensive line played good, they'd do better. Defense really surprised me. They're playing great. Oh, yeah, hold on 3 more minutes and we're going.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Gators came roaring back and looked ready to score. A crucial pass interference call on this play had the Gators inside the Georgia 10. But the timekeeper forgot to stop the clock, and the Florida coaches went berserk.
Bob, the clock has been running this whole time. The whole time that this has been going on, the clock is still running.
Gary Darnell is rightfully livid. About 30 seconds has elapsed. And remember, the Gators are trailing by 10, and every precious second counts.
By the time officials sorted everything out, Florida's momentum was gone. Mike Jones would halt the Gators' drive with this sack.
We chase him, and they got him back on the 16-yard line on a sack.
Once again, against all odds, the Georgia defense had held when it meant the most and shut down the #1 running back in the country, Emmitt Smith. It was an impressive achievement. 3 plays later, John David Francis would kick a field goal that made it 17-10 Georgia. There was still about 3 minutes left in the game, but the Dogs would run the clock down to less than 30 seconds before giving it back. And Ben Smith would seal the Gators' fate with his second interception of the game. The Dogs would win 17-10 as Ray Goff improved to 4-0 against the Gators as both a player and coach. It was the Dogs' 10th win in the series in 12 seasons.
You know, a lot of folks didn't give us a lot of credit. I mean, a lot of people, nobody picked us to win, I don't think. I read the paper this morning, and 6 guys all over the country, nobody picked us to win. I watched TV last night in Jacksonville. Nobody thought we could win, but somebody forgot to tell our players, and our players competed, and they played hard, and I'm proud of them.
I mean, we've been counted out of a lot of games, and hell, I mean, how'd we win this one? They're bigger in certain areas. They're faster. They're stronger. We won. You know, it comes down to the mental aspect.
Today we just had it. And more than we've ever had, I'm sure, the way I see it.
Time goes by, but one thing remains constant: the fierce determination to beat your rival. Some years, one team is heavily favored. But when the game is played and emotions are at their highest, strange things can happen. One side can literally will itself to win, while the other is left answering the question, how did we let that slip away? There are those moments and players that stand out above the rest. When the history of the South is handed down from one generation to the next, leaders can be forgotten. Politicians come and go. But the heroics of football players are treasured for many lifetimes. Appleby to Washington and Ballou to Scott are as dear to Georgians as pine trees and peaches. The game is played with incredible intensity. It is as if the players' very survival is at stake. And that's the way it should be. A win is more than another notch in the victory column. It is much more than bragging rights. It is a victory of the human spirit, or in this case, the Bulldog spirit.
Auburn coming down the field trying to win now. Mike Edwards caught it. Carver hit him immediately on the 24.5. Boy, you talk about drama here with the whole conference praying against us.